After 15 years of waiting and anticipation, the new Ferrari 348 was at last revealed to us in all its brilliance. Faced with the task of superseding the brilliant 308, Maranello succeeded in winning the hearts and minds of the Ferraristi with this beautiful new car, a machine worthy of the mark of the prancing horse. Innovative in its lines, a product of the 90s, the 348 appears smooth and compact, while maintaining a complete Ferrari personality and appeal. Absolutely beautiful. It displays the concept of aggression and power in a new way, while at the same time preserving a link with the tradition which makes it possible to tell a Ferrari apart from 1,000 other cars. And in Maranello, as we know, tradition means a great deal. Despite the continuity of concept, the differences between the 308 and 348 are immediately obvious. As a guarantee of quality and elegance, it carries the signature of the world's masters of design. Pininfarina has been designing Ferraris for almost 40 years. And in this period of cooperation, cars were produced which were milestones, both from the technical and aesthetic points of view. In developing a new car, one obviously always has an eye to the future. But the past must not be forgotten when it is so important. And the dialogue we carry on with Ferrari is a dialogue of change, without forgetting, or even worse, repudiating, the Ferrari traditions of design seen on the famous and wonderful cars from the past. But while looking to the future, we are also trying to draw technical information from this cooperation and from the roots we have put down in the Ferrari story. Because we remember that often the most brilliant technical advances have resulted from the solution of a technical problem. I quote, for example, the concave rear window of cars with a central engine. This has become an easily recognizable mark of a Ferrari car. And in the more recent case of the Testarossa, the side panels with air intakes and the large grille. Such technical subjects, which also suggest very effective aesthetic solutions, are much used in developing innovative cars. Concept cars, which are not tied to any constraint of a production nature, and permit further research, which may perhaps not produce any result, but provide greater creative freedom. There is, for example, the case of the Mythos, which we built last year for the Tokyo and Detroit motor shows, a car based on the mechanics of the Ferrari Testarossa. Without this platform, we would probably never have arrived at such a provocative and innovative shape. There is thus a cooperation which also opens a door to the future for Pininfarina and Ferrari.
Da parte della Pininfarina, da parte della Ferrari.
The 348 is Ferrari's car for the 90s. It is the successor to the 308-328 series, which represented Maranello for 10 years. and which was a tremendously successful car, both in the numbers produced and admiration for the design. When replacing it with the 348, the style of the original 308 had to be taken into account.
È stato necessario tenere conto dei semi estetici che erano presenti nella 308. La 348
From the point of view of design, the 348 benefits from innovations already present in larger cars, such as the Testarossa. In particular, the location of the radiators, which has influenced the overall design of the side panels. Combining these two starting points, we endeavored to arrive at a design which, without breaking with the past, would be clearly recognizable as a development of the 308, would retain the strong features characteristic of Ferrari, and incorporate the more modern aesthetic elements of the Testarossa. Some time ago, when the design project was started, a more innovative aesthetic solution was chosen, with a fully glazed roof panel, but with a less aesthetic appearance. This resulted in a car of elegant design, but perhaps a less sporting appearance. From this, after the initial planning on paper, a method was chosen of further development on a model which had a roof panel design much more in line with Ferrari tradition, and the entire upper part of the car thus strictly conforms to the precedent of the 308. In the lower part, on the other hand, are found the elements derived from the Testarossa, such as the lateral grille and the two large air intakes at the side. As opposed to the Testarossa, in which the aesthetic theme is derived from two interacting masses, the roof panel and the side panels, resulting in a car of large dimensions and basically square shape. In the case of the 348, the strong point is the optical division into two masses, upper and lower, joined by a horizontal line running round the periphery of the car body. This could be seen in both the BB and the 308. And I would say it is the characteristic feature of the connection between this car and its predecessors.
Il trait d'union più forte di questa vettura con le sue antenate. Nelle viste invece anteriore e posteriore si è privilegiato un tema nuovo.
In the front and rear views, however, a new theme comes to the fore. The front adopting a layout previously used for the F40, which has a triple arrangement with a central trapezoid grille and two lateral light units, thereby doing away with full-width air intakes. At the rear, on the other hand, dispensing with the traditional round lamps to show an evolution already used for the Testarossa. With much care having been taken over the layout, the 348 boasts superb ergonomics and high levels of comfort. a high-quality finish has been achieved in the large and spacious passenger compartment. The project had a somewhat complicated start. While remaining faithful to the general lines determined by mechanical factors, it was necessary to follow these technical changes day by day in the development of the model, so that even if the design was not basically changed, the modeling of the side panels, the width of the track, and the relative proportions of the passenger compartment and body of the car were changed radically, resulting in, and this gave us much pleasure, since it is certainly a step in the right direction, a much more powerful-looking car, in which the wheel arches are much more prominent than in the first models, thus adding to the sporting impression and making it possible to have a very favorable length-to-width ratio. The car gives the impression of being extremely compact and short, but quite at home on the road, since it is low, wide and aggressive. This impression being due above all to the relationship between the width and length of the car.
Soprattutto grazie a questo particolare rapporto fra larghezza e lunghezza della vettura. Direi che in questo particolare rapporto dimensionale sta anche la forza del modello. Il modello
I would say that the strength of the model lies in this particular dimensional ratio. Compared with other bigger models with larger cylinder capacity and greater prestige, such as the Testarossa, which has a basically similar design but has its strong point in even greater performance, is a car which makes an impression by means of its lightness, its slenderness and agility, which permits, on certain surfaces, performance which is altogether on a level with these larger cars. The interesting thing is that, in spite of this compactness, the inside measurements and thus the available room are no less and no worse than in the larger cars, since it has been possible in the initial design of the car to balance the need for comfort with the need for lightness and compactness of the vehicle. Enthusiasm and determination find true support in the verve and performance of the 348, capable of responding immediately to every wish of the most skillful and expert driver. With all the characteristics of power and compactness typical of the Ferrari Grand Touring models, the 348 makes driving agreeable and entertaining, especially on the circuit, where everything from the engine to the chassis, the tires and the brakes compete to achieve even better performance. Handling, neutral and predictable thanks to the position of the engine and the transverse gearbox, as is shown by the T in the badge, does not suffer unduly from the traditional tendency towards understeering of many mid-engined cars. Nevertheless, the 348 can in any case be defined as a true Italian sports car and could not be anything else in view of the name it bears. transverse suspensions and arms, tubular framework, differential self-locking at 40%. These are the hidden forces which together keep under restraint the 300 horsepower which the 348 punches out from its 8 powerful cylinders. When this machine is taken to its absolute limits, real skill is demanded from the driver. When treated more sensibly, the average driver can derive immense satisfaction from this dynamic car. To counter the speed available from the 300 horsepower engine, ABS brakes are fitted as standard. The 348 displays all the signs of having racing sports car from Maranello in its heritage. The low, wide stance, the pop-up headlamps, the fabulous shapes of the air intakes, ultra-low profile tires on the 5-pointed star alloy wheels. It oozes purpose and performance. Subjected to a recent change in Ferrari philosophy, which used to devote everything to the engine while leaving the lines of the car almost in second place, the 348 shows that the bodywork is not merely a covering, but can directly and purposefully enhance the enjoyment of a thoroughbred driving machine by increasing the desire to put it through its paces. With its 8 cylinders arranged in a 90-degree V, aligned longitudinally in a rear central position, the engine of the 348 is the heart of the new machine from Maranello. Capable of producing 300 horsepower, at 7,200 howling revolutions, it has a total cylinder capacity of 3,405 cubic centimeters and is furnished with the most modern and efficient systems to exploit its potential, such as the 4 valves per cylinder and the 4 overhead camshafts, 2 per bank. These features enable the 348 to boast a performance which puts it at the top of the list. Acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.6 seconds, and a standing kilometer covered in 24.7 seconds, with a terminal speed of 275 kilometers per hour. That's over 170 miles per hour. Everything on the 348 is Ferrari, and the emblem of the prancing horse places an indelible signature on every minute part of this Italian jewel. sensations follow one on the other. The engine roars softly. The silence and the lights of nightfall blend magnificently with the 348, and all becomes a single world, the world of Ferrari. The Ferrari legend lives on.